Getting every single question related to punctuation right on the SAT comes down to understanding just two things: independent and dependent clauses. If you've ever struggled with those tricky questions related to colons, semicolons, commas, etc., periods, question marks, exclamation marks, any punctuation mark in general, don't worry, this video is going to save you. My name is Krishna and I'm the founder of Future Admit, and we've helped students from 22 plus countries earn their dream score. So if you think about a punctuation mark, what does it do? Well, it connects two clauses. Now, what punctuation mark we use just comes down to identifying if each clause is independent or dependent. So what is an independent clause? Well, an independent clause is a complete thought that can stand alone as a sentence. It has a subject, a verb, and it is a complete thought. For example, the sentence, "She loves to read," is an independent clause. It has a subject, she, a verb, loves, and it is a complete thought. So it doesn't leave us with any cliffhangers. So then what is a dependent clause? A dependent clause has a subject and a verb, but it is not a complete thought. So this means that they can't stand alone as a sentence. So they essentially rely on independent clauses to form the entire sentence. An example of a dependent clause would be because she loves to read. We have a subject, we have a verb, but this phrase is not a complete thought, so it can't be a complete sentence. I like to think of it like this. It gives us some idea and information, but it kind of leaves us hanging, right? Because she loves to read. What? Like, what happens next? Right? Imagine if someone just came up to you and said, because she loves to read. You'd be waiting for them to complete the sentence, so it's not a complete thought. Okay, so how does this all tie together with what punctuation marks we need to use on the SAT? Well, I'm glad you asked. So this is something we call the ultimate punctuation chart, and it shows us the relationship between punctuation marks and independent and dependent clauses. So essentially on the SAT, what we want to do is identify if the phrase before the punctuation mark is an independent clause or a dependent clause, and if the phrase after is an independent or dependent clause. All you have to really ask yourself is this phrase a full sentence? So does it have a subject, a verb, and is it a complete thought? If the answer to that question is yes, then you know that you have an independent clause. If the answer is no, then you have a dependent clause. You can see how a period basically connects two independent clauses, right? Independent clause, period, independent clause. So let's look at a few examples. So essentially, by using this chart, we can kind of understand what punctuation mark we can use. So let's just say that we wanted to know if the colon would be a proper punctuation mark in this sentence. Jordan loves running, colon, he attends track practice every day. So now we just need to be able to ask ourselves, well, I know that if I'm using a colon, the phrase before the colon must be a complete sentence, right? It has to be an independent clause. So now all we're gonna do is look to see if the phrase before the colon is a full sentence. Jordan loves running. Is that a full sentence or an independent clause? Yes, we have a subject, Jordan, our verb is loves, and it's a complete thought. So therefore, the colon is appropriate in this situation. So it really just boils down to this. Whenever you're thinking about which punctuation mark should I use, I want you to look at the phrase before and after the punctuation mark. Ask yourself, is this an independent or dependent clause? Is this an independent or dependent clause? And by determining if the phrases before and after are independent or dependent, you're going to be able to choose the correct punctuation mark. So really study this chart, understand it, and then go implement it next time you're doing a practice test or a few practice problems. Now, if you're interested in increasing your reading and writing score, check out this SAT reading and writing strategy video that we just published. And also check out the free masterclass that we have. Link is in the description below. It's also going to come with the free guide. This is going to walk you through exactly how to start SAT prep, mistakes to avoid, and the 3-step process that we use to get our students results like this.